Welcome to a throwback vintage classic episode of That's Good Broncos. I'm Brandon Perna here with one Will Keys
Just one.
to talk about, just one. One day I'll have two Will Keys. And that it will actually be plural. Will Keys is. We're going to talk about the JK Dobbins signing by the Denver Broncos today. Something I thought was not going to happen because JK visited the team, left the building, and I think I just got a little too used to the way Elway did things. If a guy was going to be signed, he didn't leave the building. If they left the building, typically they weren't going to sign. So I'd come to terms with the idea that maybe the Broncos weren't going to sign JK Dobbins, but they bring him in. So I wanted to talk to you about that today, Will, because it feels like the Broncos have done sorry. They've made a lot of correct moves this offseason. And this is just like a nice addition to the running back room, the cherry on top. What are your thoughts? It's a 1-year deal for JK. Played with the Chargers last year. It's $2.5 million up to $5.25 million with incentives. Joins RJ Harvey, Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin in the running back room. Now, give me your thoughts.
I have multiple thoughts.
Great.
The first being that I think they came into free agency this offseason with a clear philosophy that you can see with Greenlaw and Hufanga and now Dobbins, that they're kind of just taking chances on high upside guys who are undervalued because of their injury history. And all three of those guys are really, really good. You probably even throw Evan Ingram in that category as well. So those four guys, if all four of them hit, like it's the best free agency class in the NFL, most likely. If you can get like two of those guys to play a full season and contributions from the other guys, that's still a win. You also take these guys and put them into a Broncos facility that's got some of the best trainers out there right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little bit of I don't know, it's belief in yourself that like maybe these organizations handled things the wrong way. We're going to do better. And then on a Dobbins, like a very practical level, I think it's a cheap deal. It's a 1-year deal. He's a young guy, still 26, who's going to, hopefully play well in a contract year. But practically, like, they just needed a guy who could block in the backfield. And he was good at that last year with the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't think I really realized that was a strength of his. I just like the way he runs. And I think him and RJ Harvey, similar running styles, similar kind of build, which is nice. And we have a huge X factor in Audric Estime. So we got a rookie, RJ Harvey, ton of upside there. We're all excited about it. If the Broncos didn't sign JK Dobbins, you still feel like they upgraded their running back room because of the draft. In rookie running backs, they are usually pretty plug and play in terms of the position. The biggest challenge is always learning pass blocking. And apparently that's not one of RJ Harvey's greatest strengths. So that's why this makes a lot of sense. Also with JK Dobbins, it gives RJ Harvey time to be eased into the lineup. He doesn't have to be the guy right away. But more importantly, with Sean Payton's offense, I don't think, unless they had like an insane running back like Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry, it's always going to be a rotational type group. I think if you're looking at if you're a fantasy player, I wouldn't really bank on any of the Broncos running backs producing, a ton of yards, because it's going to be like 1 week it's JK Dobbins week, another week it's RJ Harvey. And as long as the Broncos' overall production from the running back position gets better, that's really like what bringing in JK does to that whole room. And if Audric Estime is good, then you probably have too many backs in your backfield, and that's like a nice problem to have. One they really haven't had for a while, and I can say with JK coming over from the Chargers, the one issue he doesn't have is fumbling, which the last Chargers running back we brought over in Melvin Gordon, that was an issue. The last Chiefs running back before that was Jamal Charles. He had some fumbling problems when he came in as well. But JK, secure with the rock, I believe.
Yeah, hasn't fumbled since his rookie season in 2020.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know he was that good.
Yeah, no, you called it.
I mean, a couple of those seasons he didn't play because of horrific injuries he's been through. These are all
he carried the ball 100 times over the course of 3 years with Baltimore.
But still very secure, which is important.
Yeah, I mean, the last time he played anywhere close to a full season, he averaged 6 yards an attempt in 15 games as a rookie. Like that was 2020 in Baltimore when probably the easiest easiest offense for a running back to be successful in. But you see what he did last year in 13 games with the Chargers.
Sure.
Over 4.5 yards per carry. Did a little something out of the backfield, especially early on in the season. Like the Chargers were a much better team with Dobbins. I think they were hurting without him for sure.
They were. And the nice thing is, I think last year, like I forget what issue he had, if it was a hamstring strain or something where he missed a little bit of time, but he played basically the whole season. Call it a whole season for him. He looked good when he was on the field, and he's probably going to, how many carries did he have for the Chargers last year? 195?
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to get more or less than that as a Bronco this season?
I'd say probably around like 150.
Yeah, maybe a little more use in the passing game, but he doesn't have to be healthy every single game either. Like,
no.
It may be by playing him a little bit less, he is healthier, but it's just like, if you get 12 games out of him, that's nice. That's a luxury.
I'd sign up for that right now for 12 games and hopefully some playoff action too.
And I feel like he is going to be healthy. I think last year kind of proved that he made it through all of these injuries. And that was like the concern is like, oh God, is it going to be another horrific one? Because it was basically back-to-back seasons. He missed the entire season with I think it was I forget which ones it was with the Ravens, but it was bad both times.
A little bit of everything.
Here's a good one about like running back usage and fantasy. Again, don't be taking them, but just it feels like the Broncos have addressed so many of their problems from last year. And on top of just addressing it, having depth at a bunch of positions that we kind of noticed were slim last year.
Yeah, they're not banking on any of these like
exactly
injury prone guys. Maybe outside of tight end, but they didn't lose anybody at tight end either. So worst case scenario, you go back to the law firm of Troutman, Adkins, and Kroll. But like you can see, like they're a functional offense without Evan Ingram. They were a very good defense with PJ Locke at safety and either Alex Singleton or Cody Barton at linebacker. These moves, they're not necessarily hinging on all these moves to work out, but if they do, again, like it really like significantly raises the ceiling of this team.
Yeah, I'm excited for like so many different reasons. And JK's is also, it's just one of those stories. It's a guy you're rooting for. I was rooting for him when he was with the Chargers, and that's always hard to do when it's a division rival, but I like his story. And now hopefully he has the best career of his life with the Broncos, and we are included in his comeback story. Maybe even the pinnacle of his comeback story. I think that's what's really important. We're providing JK with the greatest moment of his life, and he's going to love the Broncos forever because of it.
Yeah, I think so. I think he has a career year, maybe 1,500 yards, but also signs a team-friendly extension at the end of the year.
Yes. He's like, I want to be here for 10 years, and I'm going to play on the vet minimum every year.
Yes, I think that will happen.
How old is he?
26.
20. Hold on. JK Dobbins. 26. He's 26. So he's got 3-4 solid years before he gets to the crippling age of 30 for running backs. And he's already been through crippling years based on injuries.
Some crippling years. I don't. Yeah, I mean, like on one hand, he's already like had the most wear and tear out of anybody.
Yeah.
For a 26-year-old running back, but he's only carried the ball 429 times in his career.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he hasn't been like he's been hurt. He hasn't been like beat up, I guess.
You could argue he gets younger the older he gets.
I mean, running backs used to get 429 carries a year back in like 2004.
Back when the NFL allowed men to play the sport.
Yeah, it used to be like a standard season for Priest Holmes.
7,000 carries.
He used to they're like, why?
Average, and he only had 1,800 yards, so it was like a fourth of a yard a carry.
Yeah. Running backs used to be just made out of steel. I don't get it.
Yeah, half their body was probably steel from all the surgeries. You wanted the Niners to go for JK? I like Garendo. You got McCaffrey. Let's hope McCaffrey's healthy for San Francisco. I would have taken McCaffrey here in Denver. Bring him home. Brandon, my Bronco cousin. If it is truly a Broncos-Lions Super Bowl, I'll host you and cover everything. How's that sound? Sounds great, Rich. As long as I can live stream from your house with a very solid internet connection. Thank you for the super chat. Had a tingling feeling that would happen. Bigger aspirations now. Hey, Moose, can I call you Mouse instead? Second part of that, I don't understand, but thank you, Boss Man Jay.
I was wrong, by the way. Larry Johnson, who got 416 carries for the Chiefs in 2006.
Larry Johnson, okay.
Preposterous. Like, no wonder. It makes sense, like, if you look up what he's been up to. I don't know if I want to get into that, but Jesus. Yeah, I mean, they're going to find a way to – it's going to be a 3-man committee. It's never a 4-man backfield. I guess that kind of begs the question, like, who's the odd man out at this point?
It's hard to say because, like, you would say Jaleel McLaughlin, but like he provides like a different burst of any of the backs. Now, I don't know. I think maybe there's some upside there with JK Dobbins and RJ Harvey in terms of being an explosive running back, which we just really, it feels like the Broncos haven't had an explosive running back for a while. And Jaleel was the guy who could give you those plays, but it's never like he got enough carries to do it consistently. And he's an undersized running back. And don't get me wrong, RJ Harvey and JK Dobbins are both smaller backs, but they're stout dudes. When you say undersized running back, you're really talking about like the weight they carry. And I don't know. It's still a kind of a mystery just because I don't know what the Broncos actually think about Audric Estime. So it's either Estime or Jaleel in terms of this season, but I don't know if JK is going to be in Denver outside of just 1 year either. If he plays really well, you'd like to believe the Broncos are going to want to bring him back, but I don't fucking know.
I always felt like, I don't know. I felt like Jaleel has been the best running back on the team for at least last year. I always thought he should have gotten more carries, but then again, like you can't just have him out there all the time because it signals that you're not keeping the back into block, which is what a lot of this comes down to.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Javonte Williams was the Broncos' leading rusher last year with 513 yards.
Well, yeah, and McLaughlin had 496 at a much higher rate. Like he was 4.5 yards per carry.
So when you said like JK getting 150 carries, that would give him more carries than any single Broncos back had last year for the team. I think the question becomes like, with RJ, with JK, let's just assume they upgrade the running back room as a whole. It becomes like, how much is Sean Payton actually going to dial up run plays? I talked about this with Cole earlier in the week or last week. I can't remember. My days run together. But like to me, Sean Payton is similar to Andy Reid, where he wants to throw first. He just wants to throw more in his offense. And I don't know, even with, say, upgraded players in the running back room, if the Broncos are actually going to run the football more, even though I think it would be better if they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's that old cliche about short passes. Short passes are essentially runs.
Yeah.
The Patriots, like they do so much of, it's going to be a ton of Marvin Mims bubble screens that are essentially run plays, or they do it with Troy Franklin, or they swing it out to Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yeah.
And those have the same effect essentially as a run play. It just, it doesn't show up like that on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a little context that needs to go into it. But I don't know. Like maybe they could be in a position where they should be running more next year, leading games.
Yeah, I think so. Javonte Williams, 70 targets last year in the receiving game. So 52 receptions.
Yeah, kind of absurd.
Yeah, 52 receptions, just 346 yards. Like, I believe if JK Dobbins or RJ Harvey's getting 52 receptions, they're going to have like 500 plus yards. I feel like what we watch with Javonte is none of those quick passes turned into big plays with any sort of consistency. So maybe that's where like the upside is with those guys. And like you would think McLaughlin would have gotten more targets than he did. But Williams was the guy, and I think that's probably a big area of production for either JK or RJ. So, and like I guess one of the knocks was, or at least they're like, we're not sure if RJ Harvey is a good receiving back. Like maybe that's one of the things you're questioning as he comes into this offense. So maybe there's a little extra security there with JK. I don't know if I believe that about RJ. I just don't think. I think it was he didn't have a ton of balls thrown his way in college. Is that correct, or am I just misremembering it?
No, I think that's correct. He also they ran a lot of wildcat plays for him.
Okay.
In college, and I don't know if that's something Sean Payton wants to do, but I could see that being a way that they manufacture touches for him.
Any player drafted by an AFC West rival that goes to Denver always play hard against that team. So Broncos 2-0 in division versus LA and from Philly. I'll take it. Hopefully. I'm going to say right now, if Harbaugh didn't make that boneheaded decision to put him out there against Washington, he'd still be the Ravens starter. Well, I mean, I think the Ravens are fine with Derrick Henry right now, but and when you say Harbaugh, that gets really tricky because he's played for both Harbaughs now. We got Doodad in here. Hell yeah, Doodad. Same body as me, 5'9", sculpted like the statue of David. Hey, Doodad, we were just talking about you last night, actually. We want to come to Fort Collins, so get ready for it. Where was it? I just wanted to highlight. Oh, yeah, there's some footage here of the Broncos at minicamp. But Marvin Mims stat.
Yes.
Another guy I'm high on average separation, 4.9 yards. That's pretty good.
Does
And I
that
think-
count yards behind the line of scrimmage? I'm serious though. I don't know.
I don't think so. I would assume this would be a silly stat if it did count that.
Yeah, because you could, he had a lot of like open screens. Not to
that's true. These are all speedy guys though.
This is true.
And I expect him to get more targets this season. It took a while for them to figure out how to use him best. And I'm excited about Mims.
Yeah, he's got I am too, especially like the last 2 games of the year. You're like, this guy he can't do it all, actually. I mean, his whole thing is he can't do it all. But what he does well, he does incredibly well.
Yeah.
Which is get behind the defense and take a screen, break a couple tackles, follow blocking, and score.
Yeah.
And they were so good at that at the end of the year.
And what we started to see too with Bo Nix, well, was it the Browns game where the screens were going in for touchdowns? Or was that the
I mean, you could say like the Falcons game.
The Falcons game. It was the Falcons game. It was like 2 or 3 screen passes went for touchdowns. Later in the seasons when Bo's confidence really, I feel like, kicked in, and you saw him just drop some giant balls out there in big moments, not be scared to throw it deep.
Literally and figuratively.
Tight windows. And Marvin Mims becomes more valuable and he becomes more explosive if the run game is more of a threat for the Broncos. Like all of the success that the Broncos had on offense, it starts with the offensive line because offensive line's great, but all of the success they started to have later in the year, they did it without like people fearing our rushing attack.
That's what gets lost so much in the Bo Nix conversation is he just didn't have like he really had to do everything.
Yeah.
For the most
rushing. He led the team in rushing multiple weeks last year.
Yeah, I mean, he probably would have had like however many more yards and touchdowns on the ground if his back wasn't busted by that Raiders game.
Although he started throwing better after that.
No, you're not wrong. He did. He absolutely did.
I think maybe just a little bit of pain back there dials in his arm strength just a little bit.
Yeah, you know how like Jim Harbaugh will do that thing where he like kind of beats on his quarterback.
Beats the shit out of Justin Herbert before the game.
Sean Payton should just sneak up behind Bo Nix with a baseball bat and hit him right in the lower back.
Yeah. Or
once a game.
Like, jam a screwdriver in his back and make him play with that in there the whole game.
Yeah, you get the screwdriver out of your back and you throw for 300 yards.
Yeah. If JK Dobbins rushes for like $150 in the first 2 weeks of the season, I will have JK Throbbins shirts available immediately. So just be ready. Can your Broncos can your Broncos not try and get better? What up, Guillermo? Your Raiders got pretty good too. Okay. Raiders improved quite a bit. They were really bad. And Guillermo, we're dropping our Derek Carr video tomorrow. So get ready to watch that.
Has a team ever like seceded from a division?
The Seahawks when they left the AFC West.
Yeah. I guess that was a pretty good move for them.
They seceded. They were like, we want out. This is not the NFL reorganizing. We want to leave.
Yeah, they're cowards.
We're scared.
And they left and then did really well after that.
Yeah. God bless Bo Nix. My JK Throbbins is pumping.
Anything else we need to hit on with this one?
No, this was the big one. So far, nothing crazy coming out of training camp. John Franklin Myers, he's there practicing.
Nice.
There's a little worry. He wants more contract, more money in his contract.
A bigger contract.
I want to sign
bigger.
it with a giant pin. It's like Happy Gilmore. He wants his checks in the giant comical big checks awarded to him after every game.
Free Subway for life.
Yes. Andrew Mason. I liked this tweet because Q Robinson, Pat Bryant, RJ Harvey. Q Robinson is a guy who I know the guys at not Drop the Mic. God damn it. Our good friends, Sam and Steve.
Yeah, the 33rd team.
They're not. Yeah. Check the mic.
Check the mic.
Me.
Yeah.
Check the mic. They liked Q Robinson. So, this
and
is
they're smart.
Yeah, they're actual smart football guys.
Yeah, they don't pretend like us.
No. Will and I are the kings of faking it until we making it.
We have so many tabs open, just plagiarizing other people's words right now. Do you think they run their streams with Twitter open? No.
Hell no.
No, they have original thoughts.
I mean, I liked all these tweets so we could, see them. Better show for us.
It's true. Legally, it's not their property.
Yeah. Maybe they should see if they could run the Wildcat with JK. This would protect him and let Bo Nix be wide receiver 1. Yeah. Gets lost that Bo Nix had the best quarterback catch of all of basically the last decade. So
yeah.
I want to see Bo scramble like he was. I just don't want it to feel like we need the offense to do that to rush effectively. It's a nice part of his game, and I think it's more lethal when you do it sparingly and you get a defense kind of forgetting about that you can do it. And then it's third quarter, you rip off that big run in a crucial situation. I think with better run production too, Broncos are on the field maybe a little more on offense, and capitalize on what we saw, from a defense last year that was insane with turnovers and extra opportunities and sacks and things like that. So love this move. I think it's going to work out perfectly. That's the last thing I'm going to say. This is the perfect signing to complete a perfect offseason for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Anything better than an A+?
It's not enough.
S tier.
Yes. S+ tier.
S+.
Which is better than the tears we had been shedding in the years before Bo Nix and Sean Payton saved our asses.
Wow. Well done.
Yes. And I mean, no offense by this, but Perna, we're not here for deep dive analysis. That's true. We mix it in. We got a good mix of deep dive, real information, good jokes,
stirring,
bad jokes. We're like a fucking really good spaghetti sauce. It's a lot of shit in there. A lot of shit in there. Thanks for asking, Caitlin. Tom must have said he's coming out here for Mumford & Sons. I appreciate the offer. I think I'm going to just let Carm go in my place, and I'll stay home instead.
I thought you were going to say, let her watch herself.
I'll just turn on the TV and fire up the switch. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she's old enough.
She'll be fine. All right. I think that's good. You got anything? Any parting or any final words, Will?
Yes, just 3.
Okay.
That was it. That was 3 words.
Oh, you son of a bitch.